Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session.
Good evening, everyone, to another session of Gifted Generations Presents Financeology 101. I'm one of your hosts, Robin Seegers, and the other host is.
Elroy Seegers.
I
Listen,
thought you would, wait a minute, I thought you had to figure out your name. Give me
well,
pause.
I did, I'm looking at it right on the sheet of paper.
Okay. All right, now let's get serious. What you had to say.
Well, I wanted to let people know that Gifted Generation has a lot to offer, and we want to share our mission and what services we provide. So stay tuned towards the end of this podcast to learn all about what we have to offer. But we are mission oriented, and we want to be able to help you out with your finances. That's something me and Robin, we are just so eager to do. So check us out towards the end of the podcast, and you can hear more about our services.
So,
Over to you, Robin.
thank you. This session is about tracking your spending. I'm
Yes.
going to say it again, tracking your spending. Why should you track your spending? That will help you manage your money better. You should
Hmm.
always know what money you have coming in and what money you have going out.
Right. Well,
And if
it has a lot to do with why checks bounce or why people go broke or short of money.
mhm,
Um, things just fall short is because they don't do a great job of tracking what they have.
right, they're spending, but they're not paying attention
Right.
all the
Right.
money that they're where they're spending their money. And
Yeah.
this is something Elroy and I did when the boys were young. We were I guess they were in elementary school, and
Yeah.
he gave me 20, and he had 20, and he said, let's see who will have how much at the end of the week." And at the end of the week, guess what? He still had his 20, but mine was gone, and I could not tell you what I spent it on,
Mm,
and had no clue, didn't have receipts, nothing. And that was eye opening because a lot of people say once I break this 100, it just disappears. I don't know
mm-hmm.
what I'm spending it on, or once I break this 20, I spend it
Mm-hmm.
and I have nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you should be tracking your money.
Yep.
I wouldn't say some people do it daily, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely weekly.
Yep. Yep. Reconcile your statements, reconcile
Mm-hmm.
with your receipts, what you have, be it on a paper or Excel spreadsheet. And you get your statement, you go online. I mean, there's one thing about finance is something you have to be in tune with.
Right.
You just can't just let it just go and do its own thing, because letting it go and do its own things means that you're going to spend your money. Next thing you know, you'll be like, wait a minute, I'm short. How did I become short? Because you're not paying attention to what's in your account.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that today, because I was working on a client and I said, this is happened today. She said, I asked her, I said, how much do you know yesterday? She said, I said, how much do you have in your account? What's your balance? And she's getting texts now every day to remind her of her balance, because she was letting things just get out of whack. And she gave me an amount and just say $3,000. I said, okay. I was like, wow, a little bit more than I thought, paying all the bills. And then later in the day, she said, oh, I made a mistake. I actually have pending 2,200. So that told me right there, she is not actually writing down stuff as she's sending her money out. Because if she was, she would have said, okay, I know my checks have not cleared, my bills are not cleared, I have $2,200. That told me instantly she is not tracking her money.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
wow, she's not tracking her money. Because you would know that's pending, not what's in my account, but what I say that's going out, because it takes time for things to clear.
Right.
So I'm like, you're not tracking your money? Don't rely on the text or your balance, but you should know exactly how much you have on any given day in your account. If you write a check
Right.
today and you take out $500 from 3,000, you should know I only have $2,500 left. I'll go online and it still says $3,000. I can't let $3,000 be where I have to spend. No, you know, because you wrote a $500 check. That is the disconnection with a lot of people. That pending amount that people take for granted that is not obvious. They think, oh, whatever's on my statement, and that's what I have. Wrong. It's that pending amount. And you
Right,
should know what
right,
you have to spend. I was like, man, I got to work on that too. you know,
right,
you
right.
know.
Because Elroy said several ways to track your money. Look at your bank statements, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to wait a month out to get your bank
No,
statement. You could
it's
actually
too long.
log on to
Line.
your account, go online, and look at where you spent your money. Because
Mm-hmm.
those codes on those line items tell you the stores. It will tell
Mm-hmm.
you the store that you a code for
Mm-hmm.
that store.
Yep.
It'll give you like the first few letters of the name of the
Matters.
store, if not the
Right.
whole name. So you can
Yep.
see where you spent your money. Also, your receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Get all your receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe have an envelope system where you put
Mm-hmm.
in, okay, was a gas receipt. This was a food receipt. This was
Right.
a restaurant receipt. This
Put
was
it in
buying
categories.
shoes. Have envelopes to put them in categories. And at the end of the week, look where you spent all your money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We did an experiment. Elroy did. When we were first married, around that same time with that $20, he
I
said,
like
okay,
experiments. I like experiments.
he said, okay, before we can create a spreadsheet, because that's how we tracked out money coming in, going out. This was like in 2020.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. In 2000. It was around 2000,
2000. Yeah, not
2000.
2020. 2000. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, 2000. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. In
That's correct. Yeah.
2000, he said, I want you to go a month, just spend like you normally spend, and just bring me all the receipts. And that's what I did. And he put all his receipts in a category. And he said, you're going to the grocery store a lot. Why are you going to a grocery store? He saw that I was going to the grocery store. If I ain't like what we had in the house to eat, I'll go to the grocery store to get it so I can fix it. And I was going sometimes 3 and 4 times a week on top of my
Grocery
biweekly
list.
grocery.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all those receipts. He said, you go to the grocery store a lot. Let's try this. You go your every 2 weeks, and then I'll give you cash for things that we run out and just cut back. And I had to cut back, and I had to make what we had instead of just keep going out and buying stuff as it popped in my head.
Now she's a good cook, so I ain't mind her going out and get that stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I ate great. I ain't gonna lie about that. So she took care of her brother. Go on with your bad
So
self.
so from that, he devised the spreadsheet for tracking our money. So we use that spreadsheet even to this day. We turned the spreadsheet, which we'll go into later. That spreadsheet now is an app that we have, a financial budgeting app on. It's in Android right now, and we're
Google Play
working.
Store.
I'm sorry, it's in Google Play Store, and we're working to get some updates to that, and then work on the Apple version. But that spreadsheet is what we use from 2000 to today, along, and now we use the app to manage our money.
Yep.
You have to see what you got coming in and what you got going out. If
Yep.
you don't know, then your whole financial future is in disarray. You have
Yep.
no idea if you have money to pay your bills. You don't
Right.
have money to give your kids for lunch money. They
Yep.
going on a field trip. You don't know if you have the money because you have
Yep.
no idea where you're spending your
Good.
money.
Good. You send a mouthful now. You send a
You
mouthful
have
now.
no idea. And a lot of us, I like to listen to these stories and on Reddit
Yes, you do.
where and this gentleman, he gave his daughter his debit card because she was in school, college, and he wanted to make sure she had what she
Right.
needed until
Mm-hmm.
she found a job. He did not pay attention to his money,
Mm-hmm.
and that girl spent most of his retirement money.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
She spent to start her own business that failed because they told her don't start it because she
Wow.
needed more experience. She went and took that debit card, but she was supposed to use it to buy
To
school
school.
supplies and
Right.
things like that. She started out, rented a place, and I mean, went through
Wow.
that man's retirement money, all because he did not check until like 3 or 4 months later. He had to work at least 3 or 4 more years, he said, to make up for the
Wow.
money she spent because
Wow.
he did not track his money.
Wow.
He got so caught up in life and working that he never even looked. And his money,
Mm.
she spent it
Yeah,
and
better
had
off getting her
nothing
a
to
credit
show
card.
for it.
They better off getting her a credit
So,
card.
yeah, so we have to be mindful of our money. We have to. We cannot just mindlessly swipe and spend and order
Mm-hmm.
online and order it. You have to be mindful. So get a system going where you checking it once a week. Sit down on say a Sunday evening because most time people are decompressing and
Right.
relaxing, getting themselves ready for the
Right.
upcoming week. Take all your receipts and see where you're spending your money and then
Yeah.
decide, okay, I just spent too much money at ABC store, so I'm going to cut that back.
Now, now she's saying
Not
ABC,
a
not
yeah,
as in the ABC
the
liquor store. She's like in X, Y, and Z
XYZ
and
store.
Z store. Yeah, yeah. She did, but she gonna go into the liquor store a lot. It's just a figure of speech. She's using ABC as an example. 1, 2, 3 store. Let's use
Right,
numbers here.
right,
1, 2, 3 store. They put
right.
alcoholic up in this piece.
So just pick a time, choose a downtime for you to
Right.
sit and get all your receipts. Everywhere
Mm-hmm.
you go, get your receipt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then sit it out and see where you're spending your money. And then
Mm-hmm.
decide, was that a need? Was that a
That's
want?
what I want. Yeah.
Can I cut back here? Can I cut back here?
Yeah.
You have to be able to, you cannot make financial decisions if you're not aware of where you stand financially.
You're right. You living in the dark, and then when things happen and it comes to light, you be like, well, where did this come from? How did this happen? Well, you're your own worst enemy. So here's what I always tell people: it take you overnight to get in debt, but it take you years to get out of it. So
Yeah.
a moment of relapse or bad decisions can cost you months and maybe years to get out of that agony. Um, so you got to be careful when you make this life altering decision, especially when it impacts not just yourself but others, a spouse, a child. We got to get out of the selfish habit of just I'm gonna take care of me for now and worry about the consequences later, because that does happen. As my wife already knows, we got a client that's just like, I'm gonna do this here and you guys can dig me out. When I told the client, well, it's gonna take you almost 2 years to get out of this situation. What? Like, oh yeah, you thought because you can go out and spend this money overnight that it's gonna be overnight to get it out? No, no, you got to live by a budget and you got to still build. So that was eye opening for this client. And the client's like saying, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible." Yeah, it's because you didn't consult with us or you went and did your own thing. So you got to be wise. You got to have a accountability partner. When you do these kind of things. Now, if you're both on bad decision making, then that's bad. Because somebody has to be smart when it comes to getting that person off the mantle, making these kind of decisions. Now, me and Rob, we do a good job of balancing each other out. You know, we share what we want to buy. We let the other person know we buy a big ticket item. But one thing we do, we keep track of our finances. And we even all have our own little spending pot. She gets them out and I get them out. And sometimes she spends mine and spends hers too. And that's okay because that's my money. I can give it to her. But once it's gone, it's gone. But we feed off of each other. We making sure that the decision that we're making is one that it's going to build us forward, or it's not going to set us back at least. Off the
Right.
setback is going to come where we know we got to spend. Let's say a trip, and let's say the trip costs $5,000. It's a planned trip. Okay, we're going to go and get the trip, pay it off, or charge to a card and pay off the card because it's 12 months down the road. We're not going to say, hey, we want to go to Los Angeles tomorrow. Let's charge a card up. It's not planned. What an emergency. So we plan 12 to 18 months out and start saving for it. So when it comes time to book it and buy it, the money is there. So the impact is less great. You're going to have Christmas. You're going to have birthdays. You're going to have parties. The summer's coming. All these things. So why not set some money aside for those kind of things? Track it. your spreadsheet, piece of paper. You gotta have somewhere where you put this money in, and you know what's in it. You know what your balance is. You know what your savings is. You got to have a measurement to know what's going on in your life. You just can't just walk through life and say, "Well, let me check my balance." Well, that balance may not be accurate based on some checks that you had outstanding. That's where you get in trouble. That's where
Right.
the ATM fees come in. You're taking money in your account. That's where the bounce check come in. That's where all these things, the shortages, overdraft payments and stuff come in. Right there. Right there.
And when you write it down, that's write it down or a spreadsheet or the envelope method, then you
Mm-hmm.
can see where your issues lie. Like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have a
True.
shoe fetish. So
Yes, you do.
I bought 4 pair of shoes this week.
That's right. Yes,
And
you
you're
did.
like, okay, I got to do
Yes, you
something
did. Buy
about
money.
that.
Yeah,
Or
that's true.
I go to Starbucks. Oh, sorry, Starbucks. I go to Dunkin' Donuts,
She
McDonald's
she
for
she goes and
coffee.
gets she
Where
goes outside to a restaurant. Let's just a restaurant.
they go get coffee somewhere,
Right.
and you have a lot of receipts from the coffee place. Like, oh my goodness, I'm spending
Right.
too much money. I'm giving too much money to the coffee people.
I'm telling my
And
wife
one
that.
thing,
That's good. You
but
talking
go
about
ahead.
coffee because I was always getting coffee, like like from the job and stuff. So my wife went out and bought me some individual packets, right? And so now I can make my own coffee and I take it to work, and it only costs me how much those packages cost? Those that you bought me, the little small packets, like
Oh,
a dollar, $6,
oh yeah,
$2.
yeah.
How much it costs? Like
It's $1. It's a
yeah,
dollar.
and it has about
Mm,
what 10 to 15 packets in there. So one
mm-hmm.
dollar gives me now 12 cups of coffee versus one cup of coffee costs me $12,
Mm-hmm.
and it tastes just as great when I make it than when someone else makes it for me. So now I have the difference of $6 a day coffee versus you add $6 times you go to work 5 days, that can be expensive $30 a week. But if I take one package per day, it still don't cost me that same $1 because I got a pack of them. So now I can save $29 to go into my kitty to go towards something else. You got to find ways to make yourself better
Right,
for us counting your dollars and knowing where it's going. But I mean, there's
right,
just so many ways to track it and so many ways to the I ain't gonna say cut corners, but to make wise decisions. When I say when
right,
you use the word cutting corners, sometimes people say I'm cutting a corner, and eventually that cutting corner is gonna be eliminated. So I just always try to
right,
say make a wiser decision because
right,
that way it can be a
right.
continuation of what you decide on, and you can continue to make those kind of decisions down the road. Uh,
And you may be spending money and not realizing that you're spending a lot at a certain location. You're not even
right,
giving it thought, and you
right,
don't know it until you have all your receipts laid out and you realize the pile for this location, this
right,
store is
right,
bigger than the other piles, and
right,
you be like,
right,
"Whoa! I
right,
didn't realize
right,
I was spending that
right,
kind of money.
right.
I'm giving them
Mm-hmm.
$70 a month at
Right,
this one place."
right,
You don't know that until you actually do this, manage your
right,
money by tracking it and categorizing it and knowing
right.
where it goes. Then you can
Right.
make better decisions.
Let me tell y'all something. There's an app out there in Google Store. It's called Bags of Money. It's an app that you can use, and it will help you track what you have. It does not attach to your bank. It's basically what you put in that allows you to see what you have daily. It allows you to put your income in there. You put your income in there once, and then you get paid for a job like every 2 weeks or monthly. It's going to automatically put those income amount in there, and you can modify those amounts. If it's a dollar or two off, you can go in and modify it just to one or two as you get paid. Same thing for expenses. You have bills come every month, so now you have something that's in there already. And only thing you got to add to are things that you do once, solo entries like gas or restaurants or laundry stuff. Add those things in there, and it's going to update your amount moving forward. So today you may have an amount of $3,000 in your account. You can go down, scroll down to the weekly or monthly view, and you can see your balance is now, I don't know, maybe a different. It's going to be a different amount, and that's based on your income you got coming in and the frequency of it, and your expenses you got going out and the frequency of it. It allows you to make wise decisions. So if you know 2 months in a row you want to go to out to eat, and you know you're going to spend $100, you click on that day like, ooh, on this day it's telling me I'm only going to have $50. On that day you can't go out to eat. Or you know
And
why? You go back, you can see all the bills you got coming
mhm.
in. It just shows you your habits.
Right, right. So you set it up. It's a standalone
Mm-hmm.
app. It does not tie
Mm-hmm.
into your bank account. What it asks you to look at is your available checking balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And once you put that in, then you put in all the income you have, how often you get paid, or
Mm-hmm.
how often you receive that money, and then you put in
Mm-hmm.
all your expenses and how often you pay those expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
then for those, like you said, those standalone items, say somebody give you Cash App you some money, you can put that in as a one-time occurrence, as a Cash App, you received it, now that's part of
Mm-hmm.
your income. If you go to the gas station and you only go every 2 weeks, then you can put that one-time occurrence in as
Mm-hmm.
$20 for gas for that one
Mm-hmm.
day. And then from those that information you put in, it extrapolates down months down the road unless you make any changes to it from your checking account, which you the income you put in, the expenses you take out, it can tell you what you'll have down the road. We
It
also
updates it.
have it, it updates it, and we also have it that the graph, it's a graph, a pie chart that shows you, okay, you're spending this big slice of pie is from entertainment. You spend a lot on entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and the lower thin line is savings. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
show you where your money is going
Mm-hmm.
in a great, because I'm a visual person. So from that I
Mm-hmm.
can see, oh my goodness, the slice of pie for shoes is way bigger than the slice of
Right.
pie for
Shopping. Yeah.
savings.
Mm-hmm.
So from that I can tell, oh, I need to cut back on increase my savings and decrease my shoe spending.
Right.
So this app will help you track your money. It helps you and it gets you engaged because you
Mm-hmm.
have to manually, those solo occurrences, those
Mm-hmm.
one-time occurrences, you have to put
Mm-hmm.
manually put those in to
Right.
update your financial picture. So this app is a blessing because this is what we use to manage our money. We can see,
Mm-hmm.
we can extrapolate down months down the road based on the reoccurring stuff, and then the one-time occurrences as we go along we add it.
Mm-hmm.
We can extrapolate what we're going to have, say, the
Mm-hmm.
end of June.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for a tool to help you track your spending, this is
Mm-hmm.
definitely the tool for you.
Right.
Go to the Google Play Store, go and search on Bags of Money app and download it. The first 30 days is free. You can
Right.
try it out. You can play around with it. You can enter your data. You can update your data. You can change your data and then see how it can help you down the road.
Right. The thing I like about the app is when you open the app up on the home page, it gives you your checking balance automatically, and it tells you for the month if you will have a surplus or a shortage for the month. And then also on
Hmm.
the same page, it gives you your checking balance. And then if you go, the good thing about this app, it doesn't put everything in one place as far as your checking, as far as your income and your expenses. Income has its own register and list of when things happen, and same to the expense. But then it ties those two together to give you your current checking balance on any given day. We kept it separate because sometimes it can be convoluted as far as your income when you get paid and expenses. It's all mixed in there. So we wanted to keep it separate so you can see very easily. Look at expenses, you see that's a list by itself. You see income, it's a list by itself. But the two, like I said, the two together, it creates your checking balance. Today is a checking balance. It show you tomorrow's checking balance. It show you next week's checking balance, potential checking balance based on what you put in the system. It show you next month's potential checking balance. And that's what I love about the app. It can tell you to a penny what is predicting on your habits and what you have put in the system, what your balance
Hmm.
can potentially be on that day. Of course, if you add from it and you take from it, it's going to update and extrapolate everything in the future automatically. It's not going to update tomorrow. It's going to update tomorrow and the next day and the next day and on and on and on. So it's been tried, tested, and proven. And this, like my wife said earlier, this app is based on how I did my spreadsheet. I can predict on in the spreadsheet I had. It was like I know how much money we have in that account based on the spreadsheet. And people like saying, why you need to know that? Because I need to know if I'm gonna have enough money in my checking account tomorrow. Not so much that when the bills are due, but how much I'm going to have. With the last piece is that you know when the bill is due. You can click on that date the bill is due and you can see when that bill is due. Oh, whoo, that check will clear, that bill will clear because I have $250 in my account. I have $1,000 in my account because it's going to put it on that date that the bill is due. So that is the neat feature about this app. It's going to have you, as my wife says, dialed in to your finances. Dialed in. Dialed in.
Definitely. Definitely.
All right, well, thank you, honey. This is a great session. That's our mission. It's like you said, is to help out people with their finances, and then as part of our mission, we created the app. We didn't want to just have it for ourselves. We wanted to share it, and this is us sharing the app with the world, and we think it's a very useful tool. And why is it useful? Because Robert and I have been doing finances and helping out people for years, and this has been a principle behind how I've done things and how I've helped manage people's finances. I just put it into an app, so I use a spreadsheet, and I still have the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet was 15, 20 years old, and people are amazed when I show them old data. And it's good because I can see where we come from, where we are now. I'm like, man, I made that much money. Ooh, wow, we had that bill. Oh, we had that. It just amazes me how we was able to live on just a little bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
but we live a great life, a blessed
Right.
life.
Because we knew what we had and where it was
Hmm.
going. We paid
Yes.
attention to it.
We
We
did. We
paid
did.
attention.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
So the spreadsheet is what we use
It's the
to
foundation.
is the foundation for everything that we're
Hmm.
doing. We help it use it to help our clients,
Hmm.
our one-on-one clients that come to us and need some financial coaching. We
Hmm.
also point them to the app. Um, and our passion is helping people be financially aware. So that's
Yeah.
why we're doing this podcast. So
Yeah.
Gifted Generations mission is just to help people be more in tune to their finances and just
Yes.
help them be aware to make better decisions and
Yes.
to live a better life because you can't
Hmm.
serve two masters. So,
Mm-mm.
and our slogan is for the app is same money,
Same
new
money, new
level.
level. And
We
what does
take
that
the
mean? What
same
does that
money.
mean? What does that mean? There you go. What does that mean,
We
Rob? What does
take
that mean?
we take the same money, like Elroy said, the spreadsheet. He can go back and look how well we lived on such little money, but that was because we took the money, managed it, and it took us to another level in our lives. A lot of people think that they need to find part-time jobs. Sometimes you do, but
Right.
only get the job if you know exactly where you are financially right now. If you're getting
Yeah.
it just to get more stuff, then
Uh-huh.
you always gonna be chasing that dollar.
Yeah.
So the app is based off of helping us manage our money, be aware, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we like to do. And that's why we're
Yep.
doing this podcast to
Yep.
just take topics that we think people need to hear and that will spark some interest in
Yep.
within themselves that they will go and research and dig deeper and be better managers of their money
Yep.
because it's
Yep.
hard when you're struggling financially.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It is.
absolutely hard when you're
Yep.
struggling financially. But
Yep.
you can take a little and do a lot. You
And
can take a little
let
and
me
do a
comment on
lot.
that do a lot. I had a client that was telling me I need to find a part-time job to pay off his bills. I kept saying, no, you don't. You just buckle up, buckle up, buckle up. And I said, you give me a few months. And I said, no. And I did a quick review of what spending habits. I said, you give me a few months. I said, I can almost guarantee you that if you're willing not to get a part-time job, we can free yourself up in a few months. And you can see all the money you've extra to do towards a thing that can pay for a part-time job. And when we met that goal, the client was like, "Oh my gosh, I never needed a part-time job. I just know you need to manage what you have." So you
Right.
have sometimes you have the money in your hands, and it's just how you manage it. You can pay yourself like a part-time job, but when you have 8 to 10 credit cards, you got all these loans and stuff out of win back. That's your part-time job. You giving it to somebody else. Eliminate that. That's all the money you've extra to apply towards the area of your life, savings, retirement. Pay yourself. That's how you pay yourself
Hmm.
forward. Not paying it forward for somebody else to have a bigger yacht. They decide, no, should I get the Mercedes Benz or should I get the Lexus? That's a decision that you're giving money to that they're making. Versus you saying, do I need to get a Yugo? I don't know. I'm just saying you can make wiser decisions with the money that you have versus giving it to somebody
Hmm.
else and making bigger, better decisions. That's your money that you're giving. It's your money that you're giving to them.
Right. Right,
Mm,
right.
no,
And
sir.
that's one thing I say. I'm not giving all my money to them. They already rich. I'm
Yep.
not
No,
giving it all to
sir. No,
them.
sir. No,
I'm
sir.
not working to give all my money away.
All right. All right. Well,
So,
let's go ahead and wrap it up, and we can give you guys our handles. So on our podcast, you actually can find it on our website. It's giftedgenerations-llc.com/podcast. And that's a good way if you want to download all these different apps to listen to podcasts. You can go to our website and there's a player right there. You can find all the podcasts that we've done. We're also on Facebook. You can find us under Gifted Gen LLC. And on Instagram, we can be located at gif.gen. That's gif.gen. And of course, you can find all our postings on YouTube. That's Gifted Generations LLC. We also own. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, under Financeology 101. And then our Twitter handle is at GiftedGen 2019. 2019 stands for when we were established. I want to thank my lovely wife because she put all these podcasts together. And also be mindful, we're going to be on another podcast. Is it the 28th, baby? All
yes,
right.
the
Yes, I don't
28th.
have.
Yes,
I forget all the information. I'm sorry to bring it up
yes.
impromptu to bring it up. That's my apologies for not planning that out. Because my wife is a true planner. She doesn't like surprises. So surprise. So I want to
But the
thank you.
thing,
Thank you.
but that podcast that we're being a guest on someone else's podcast and speaking about finances.
Right.
But I'll make sure that podcast get posted on our
Hours.
social
Right.
media platform so everyone can listen to that one as well.
All right. So I
Okay.
want to thank you guys for listening in. I want to thank my wife for continues to ride and rock with me on this here journey. She's been a
Well,
trooper.
thank you.
She's a foxhole kind of girl. And not that she's only just foxy, but she's a foxhole kind of girl. I'll get many foxhole with you any kind of day. Because I
Well,
know we're
thank
gonna come
you.
out. We're gonna come out at winner eve every time because we winning, baby. We
That's
winning.
right.
We
That's
winning.
right.
So y'all listen to this podcast. Listen to other ones. We have all kinds of topics. We talk about several different things. I think we own like 60 something now podcasts that we've been doing,
Hmm.
which is
Yes.
a lot. It's a lot. And people like saying, y'all still doing it? Wow. Like, are you listening? If you are, then you can see why we're doing it because we are touching people.
It's
We
a
got
lot of
lots of,
topics you can
yeah,
talk
a
about.
lot of
Hmm.
topics, a lot of downloads. If you guys have any suggestions, send it to us. What you want to hear from us? Hey, we'll take suggestions and we can definitely try to tap into some of those resources to hear some of the things that you want us to talk about. You can email us to email us also to go to our website, giftedgenerations-llc.com. Contact us and tell us what you want to hear from us, and we definitely can look into doing those things too. We want to be a resource for the world, not just for us, a resource for the world. All right, baby. Well,
Okay.
that's about it. I want to thank you again.
Alrighty.
Love you. Appreciate you. All right. All right.
All right.
Love
Thanks,
you too.
everybody.
All
Have
right.
a good
All right.
night.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.